Why hello there, fellow Crypt Raiders, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to our Adventurer Guild. Episode 12, Hunting a Necromancer for a Paladin. How do we get the Ranger? What do you mean? Oh, we already have a Ranger. So, Astrid here is functionally a Ranger trainer. And then Magica is the, a High Mage trainer, and then Falcon is the, like, Guardian and, Knight trainer. They already cover those bases. And also, speaking of Magica, let's talk to her. Bandit Mark. The adventurers fought against a bandit who had a strange tattoo on his face. From what they told, it seemed like the mark that gave him some strange powers. Because it seemed related to magic, I was wondering if you maybe knew what they were. Can you describe the appearance of that tattoo? The adventurers made a sketch of it. Here, look. Fascinating. This mark. It's the mark of a demon lord. I don't like the sound of that. How very interesting. There have always been people trying to make foolhardy pacts with demons, but this is the first time I see a mark from an actual demon lord. So, what does it actually do? It acts like a blessing. The wearer is granted a small part of the demon lord's power that can manifest itself in a plethora of different ways. As if bandits weren't already cause enough headache. Now you're saying that the bandits are making deals with literal devils? It isn't as simple as that, Guildmaster. Demon lords are far different from ordinary demons you might know of. They can be considered the same level as gods. The rituals required to make contact with them are only known as fairy tales to a few. They weren't considered real, until today at least. Then how do these bandits know them? That's the question indeed. Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to it. Bandits and demons. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. Is there more you need to discuss? Nope. So that, of course, was kind of an important and very enlightening conversation, I would say. Okay. Raffle. So, we have Iron Zach, the warrior. What a great name. And you can decide party, both blue and green have space. And next one will be named, oh, I'll re-roll that. Tankwith. And again, you can decide on how your character progresses. So just to put it, Iron Zach, you're talented and humble and bright, which normally would point towards mage, but you don't have to be a mage. You can be whatever you want, especially given talented. I mean, you can always be whatever you want, but like talented really gives you a lot of flexibility because you'll level up just about everywhere. And then you are probably best to remain a rogue, in my opinion, but you can make that choice too. And we are one turn away from basically everyone being able to return to the roster, which means I would really like to get them in to parties. Who only has 2 bravery? Iron Zach? That's not an issue. That's pretty typical for people. Like, Key has 1 bravery. Ryza has 3 bravery. Not everyone has the willpower to have high bravery. But as you'll level up, they'll change when your willpower goes up. So, Tank, you want your goal to be Assassin. Got it. And is there teams you guys want to join before I jump into the next one? Also, let's do upgrades. So now we have the Infirmary upgrade. I'm going to hold off on doing any more upgrades because spending 3k when we don't have that much slush fund, I don't want to get too close to, like, the problems. And then who do we have to field right now? So here's the thing. Once we have 3 full teams, we can start to do like combat missions, knowing that the team that gets injured will have like a few days rotation off duty, especially given the infirmary upgrade that we just got. So the big push for the extra people is so that we have more flexibility in the types of fights that we take, so we can start to take more difficult fights that does incorporate combat, knowing that being laid up for a few days won't be detrimental to our guild because we'll have time to recover. Okay. I don't really love, like the only quest that I would want to do here is the dragon one. And assassin joins green. Got it. I guess by process of elimination, we're going to throw Iron Zack into blue. Because there's kind of no reason not to. Now, we have 2 warriors in that squad, but that's fine. I mean, you know, whatever. They're bruisers. That will work. All right, let me adjust the party here. It doesn't necessarily mean I won't be hiring more people. It's worth noting because you can always have extra people. You can send them on assignments. You can send them on as filler. The thing is, you only get the bonus for a full team when your full team is present. So there is a big incentive to go as a party, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're required to. At the moment, we have different party members from every squad that like have 1 day of something. So no one party could attend. Now, I did want to try to still craft a narrative around Alyssa. It has a 58% chance. I wonder if I like do someone higher level. Maybe we'll level up Alyssa before we craft a narrative. I really wanted to craft a narrative early, but maybe I'll just wait for it. So because we don't have a full squad to field, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like throw Alyssa, Key, Tank, and Daryl at this quest because it's a low-level quest and they can handle it. Eagle Ring. So the accuracy and crit goes to the new rogue. The daggers go to the new rogue. Key has no gear. You're like straight up naked, so we're going to want to probably fix that before we deploy you. Give you dodge ring. Could I show how training works? Sure. Before I do that, in the training ground, if you want to train adventurers, you can take an adventurer, pay a little bit of money, and have them level up. So this is another way to do it where they don't have to go into combat necessarily. It's just I can only do like 1 at a time, and that's slow. And I can only do extraordinarily low level adventurers. So it's more efficient to like send them to somewhere to level up that way, in my opinion. Hey, bud. Bye, bud. Okay, we need a staff. Oh, you know what? I have enough money for an adept staff. Cool. So that gives Key an adept staff. Now I know that's Key is going to outgrow the adept staff because Key wants to be a bard. So your class goal, actually, let me set it up as bard so we can actively work towards that. Which means you're going to need to switch over to like a bow eventually. But for now, you know, might as well give you some good stuff. Okay, so that's enough equipping them out. Let's get them into the field because I don't have a lot of money and we need to be making some. The other thing I wanted to do is the bravery. I'm going to switch Alyssa with Daryl. Oh, you already have a bravery. Never mind. I misread that. Okay, we're good enough. Start quest. Daryl, you're front row. Test your might. And I just got coffee. Woohoo! Not only see the rattling, you saw the wife too. And I can pick for Iron Zack. So Iron Zack, I'm going to have you try to become a knight. Having 2 knights in the same squad, they can bash real good. Yeah, I just got raided in real life. Oh! Juked! Juked! Bye-bye, Hunter! Gotta love doing that. Oh, they're gonna attack me now. They went for this mushroom. No, they're too slow. Woo, what's up? Oh, yeah, baby. On the way, the party started to hear a voice calling out for them in the distance. Looking out for the source of the voice, the party spotted something strange. A sword buried into a stone. Greetings, travelers. Would you be so kind as to help someone in need? The party tried to locate the owner of the voice, but from what they could tell, nobody was around. It's just them and... The party immediately turned their heads towards the sword in the stone. Yes, that's right. It is I who have been speaking to you. The outlandish, as it might sound, I'm an articulate sword. I'm not even articulate in real life. Jesus. Ferdinand is the name, or at least that's what I'd like to believe my name is. Somewhat overwhelmed by the situation, the party had no idea how to react and were at loss for words. Contrary to them, the talking sword started to speak like it hadn't had any decent conversation in ages. You see, my friends, I hope you don't mind if I call you friends. I'm in a very particular situation. Life as a sentient sword is already something I cannot recommend, but I cannot stress how much worse it has been stuck in a dumb stone far away from any decent conversation partner. So, if you don't mind, would you be so kind as to free me from this godforsaken rock? If you do, I'd be happy to be part of your entourage. Yep. I'm being bossed around by a sword. Ask the sword to tell about himself, or try to pull the sword out of the stone. Do we fulfill his request immediately, or ask for more information? Ask for more information? All right. I'm honored to have garnered your interest, but I'm afraid you might be disappointed to learn that my origins are a mystery to me as well. I do not know how many months it has been since I awoke like this, stuck in this humiliating prison made of rocks. Was I once a man? Or have I always been a sword and just gained sentience? I do not know. However, for the sake of my sanity, I decided to believe that I always have been a sword. I mean, I could even imagine the nightmare if you were, if you knew you were once a person with 4 limbs, able to walk wherever you wish to, and were now reduced to an unmoving object with nothing more than yourself and your own thoughts. That would be, quite frankly, hell. Sword laughed as if he made a lighthearted joke instead of mentioning the possibility of an existential crisis. One of the adventurers asked the sword if he had some sort of ability. After hearing that, the sword uncharacteristically went silent for a while. Well, considering the fact that I am very likely magical in nature and have a mysterious past, it is possible, probably safe to assume that I am an outstanding weapon. Probably? One of them remarked, well, I do not think I can shoot fireballs or anything like that, but I'm sure that is at least sharper than the average sword. The party studied the blade, and from what they could tell, it did not seem sharper than any other swords. Maybe there is some hidden ability inside me? Maybe you just have to unlock it? The party looked doubtful. And Board Drake, thank you for the gifted subs. Oh, come on, my friends. Do you really believe that there was a talking sword that would have no other ability besides the ability to speak? That would be such a pointless existence. The fact that the sword could easily say that despite the possibility that they were that kind of existence made the party wonder if Ferdinand was very mentally resilient or had already lost their marbles a long time ago. pulling it out of the stone. Oh, Jesus. Okay, freaking, no, Key, I want you to do it. Oh, hey, look at that. Key rubs his hands and pulls, and put his hands on the handle. Key could tell that Ferdinand was stuck very deep in the stone. Anyone weaker than him would have a hard time getting the sword out of the stone, but not Key. Key pulled with all his might. The rock tried to resist, holding its prisoner as tight as it could. But with every pull, Ferdinand got a little bit looser. Until eventually, with one final pull, Key managed to pull the sword out of the stone. Well done! I knew from the moment I saw you that you would be my saviors. As promised, I will follow you until the end of times, Ferdinand proclaimed happily. Now, who amongst you is going to wield me? The party looked at each other. Good question indeed. Which is really funny considering no one uses swords here. We have gained Ferdinand the Talking Sword. Ooh. A talisman. Let's give it to our resident mage. That was a two-hander sword, so we wouldn't even want a tank. We would want a knight to wield it. Tanks use sword and board. Before we spend money on the supplies we brought, let's just refund them. And all in all, pretty good, because that's not a bad sword at all. Oh god, 10 points away? That's brutal. But we did get one level up, and then we got damn close for the other ones. So, Key, you yoinked a sword out of a stone, which is funny because you're tiny. Ooh, that's a really good level up. So you, being tiny, got it done. I just don't know. And, you are good for a skill point, so I'm going to give you better healing. Alright, at this point, everyone is back to duty. Everyone can be fielded in battle. Time off has been completed. And the blacksmith wants to talk. I think we know what about. Sell artist, thank you for the resub. Cheers. Oh my. It looks like Barrett was sharpening the talking sword. Did that hurt? Interesting. Does that mean the sword has a sense of touch? Apologies. Master Smith, it was an involuntary reaction. I got a little squeamish because it's my first time. At least I think it is. But you do not need to worry, Master Smith. I was just responding, a response to a visual cue. I can, in fact, not feel anything by touch. You could rub my blade and I would feel nothing. How about it? Give it a try. I assure you that it won't get any reaction out of me. No. Why the reservation? I assure you that I feel nothing. Master Smith, you do not need to be afraid of hurting me. I'm pretty sure that has that he has other reasons why he wouldn't want to do that. My lady! Apologies, but I was under the impression that your challenge was to test your statement that you would extend to anyone else in this room. No, of course. I was just surprised the lady would touch my blade. A talking sword, which seems to identify itself as male, shows signs of carnal desires in spite of being an object. Also very likely ticklish, despite claiming otherwise. Are those notes about me? I beg you not to write that down. I am not a degenerate. Hello, Guildmaster. Hello, Barrett. I see you have your hands full. Oh, greetings. You must be the Guildmaster I heard so much about. I'm Ferdinand, and it might be hard to believe, but I'm a talking sword. Yeah, I read the reports. I see you seem to be interested in the sword. Does that mean it's in some way related to the ancient empire? That was my initial hope, after all. Many wondrous items we have found today have been produced by the craftsmen of the ancient empire. Unfortunately, to my disappointment, the sword seems to be relatively new for that to be the case. Nevertheless, it still might be prove useful as an interesting subject to study in my spare time. That statement does not exactly boost my self-confidence, my lady. So, why is it here? One of the adventurers wanted to know if it was possible to improve it. Despite it being a talking sword, they said it seemed unimpressive. And with that, my self-confidence just took another hit, Master Smith. And is it possible to improve it? It is, with the right materials. I'll see if I can provide you with the materials if possible. Given that you are already working on the item, Barrett, it might be worth to consider fully smelting it down and utilizing the materials to craft a new weapon. I'm interested to see if it retains its personality after such a transformation. My lady, I officially declare that I'm afraid of you and beg the others to get me as far away from you as possible. Here, Ascension Sword, let's melt them. Like, she's just complete sociopath. But yes, we can, in fact, with rare black iron, improve Ferdinand the Talking Sword. And he's pretty good when he's improved. I'm going to give Ferdinand to the brand new Iron Zack. There you go. You got a sword that will keep you company. Don't worry about it. He'll totally not talk your ear off. Alright, assignments. So, I'd like to level up Team Green a little bit more, but unfortunately for me, they're like rather injured. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Team Green to collect random materials. I know they won't heal on assignment. But they'll at least be doing something together. And two of them were like so close to leveling up. Alright, Team Red, I'm going to deploy you in the field because you guys are like super static right now. And then Blue, I have nothing for you. You just chill for a day. You're welcome. As far as upgrades go, I'll start working on the alchemy upgrade. And Team Red, this will be the first time you're in the field together. So I'm excited. I might... what is your synergy, actually? 10%? I'm a little tempted to try to do one of these missions. We get a blessed sword and shield for the Necromancer's lair and a skill potion. I think what I'll do instead... I don't know, man. Let me quickly analyze their equipment. The problem is Fig, being their tank, is like a little under-geared compared to the rest of them. Or like under-leveled. She's still 4, though. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's do it. Go to the old fortress. Because I think Fig wants to be a paladin. So might as well have Fig be the one to try to become a paladin. Or save the paladin. Or rather, do the bidding of the paladin. So now we can field entire teams together. Instead of just, like, individuals, which is really nice. I might, before I go, make one more of each potion. And then Fig, you're not... Strength 7. I think I'm... No, I'm fine. The other thing is... I'm gonna buy this ring. I'm gonna sell some of the garbage I have. And then buy this ring for Fig. And then Alyssa, I'm gonna give you the level up book. And then Tank, I'm gonna give you... Oh, no, not Tank. Key, I'm gonna give you the amulet. Necromancer lair. With a lot of undead. So, Hallis, you'll have your work cut out for you, I think. The reason I made 2 more potions is so that I can do a full stack of 10. Which is bringing all the potions, just in case. I'll also bring the minor mana mage potion and the defense potion. And let's go. save formation. So now they'll always be in this formation. I don't have to reset it. This is their default formation. And we're going to the Necromancer's lair. Oh, great. Look at our stamina. Good lord. Zoldak, the Paladin, has asked the Adventurers Guild to defeat a Necromancer who's made a lair near the village he's protecting. If you manage to do so, he will consider joining the Adventurers Guild. So your stamina, if you're wondering, is just like the average of the endurance that you have. So it's just by luck I have 666 stamina. All right, in this group, this is not the Necromancer's group. It is 3 ghosts. Ghosts are flying, so they fly over traps, and hostile melee has a higher chance to miss. And they also are ghost touch, which will hurt bravery and initiative. But they're pretty dainty, all things considered. They're just hard to damage in melee. Or in physical damage. Because if you analyze them, again, their physical resist is quite high, and their ice resist is insanely high, but they suck at holy resist, and they're neutral for fire, earth, and lightning. So trying to like bash them down, or bleed them, poison them, use stuns, forget it. Or dark magic. But like, there's a lot of other ways to deal with it. Which means, Von Deathart, you're going to be particularly useful here. So you are a lightning mage, and they do not have lightning resist. So zapping hurts bad. Oh, unless you miss. You know what? You didn't miss. You totally tried again. To not embarrass yourself. Oh, wine! One more point would have been fine, but alright, fine, whatever. Play. Sweet! Can't hit me. Alright, that has you stepping on a trap. I'm gonna lower the... Yeah. I think that was the right call to go all the way around. Alright. Lightning again. Instantly dead. Alice, I'm going to have you heal yourself. Ooh, and a chain attack. And those they just became closer friends, as you saw as a result of the chain attack. Now that we're in a formal squad, we're going to see a lot more of that. A lot more chain attack opportunities, which is really helpful when you have someone like Quantum here, who can like shoot multiple times, because it's multiple chances for chain attacks over and over and over and over again. That's why I really like light arrows, because every time I fire a light arrow, it triggers another like 5% chance. And as the relationship increases, that won't be a 5% chance for a chain attack. It could be like a 50% chance for a chain attack. Where like you fire a few light arrows and you're almost guaranteed for a chaining effect. So we've got it forks, and there's a up and a left, barely a left, and the left seems to have debris in it, and then a right. So check the right passage first. Really? Yeah. Modifier of 15, you still fail. So we have five zombies, which is not a big deal, and a gold chest and a alchemy table. And with that spyglass upgrade we got, we can actually scope the enemies before we engage, which is like insanely useful. So if you know that you're like, let's say you have a team that are like really weak to elements, and you scope the enemies, and it's like, hey, it's like, you know, 6 lightning elementals. It's like, yeah, no, forget that battle. Like that's the death. You know, and now we'll be able to know those numbers before they happen. Yeah, this should be all right. Let's throw this zombie into the spike traps. Yeah, sucks for you, bud. God, I love that. So even though he's a lightning mage, sometimes it's just irresistible to use other schools for reasons. Obvious reasons. Actually, you know what? Let's finish this one off. So we have 3 turns before they start to revive, so if we can kill them all in 3 turns, that's fine, or we'll have to clear out the bodies. Also keep in mind that they're terrain blockers. And oh yeah, apparently I'm just a knife thrower now. Quantum, finish that body for me, thank you. And then maybe set up for a ranged attack. I don't know if I want to use Hollis's heal ability to clean corpses, to clear the corpses, because I think it's a poor use of his mana. Same with Von Deathheart, I'll probably just auto-cast. And I'm not too worried about this because the zombie's just going to get auto attack. Oh, I misclicked. But actually that helps Simply Fig to close the distance. Which probably won't matter because it's dead. Don't get it. Yeah, it's dead. I don't think we took a hit. Not a bad way to go. Zombies are pretty easy to control in that way. Oh, we just took a bravery hit from being in here. This had modifiable gauntlets, so it doesn't actually do anything, but it has 3 sockets, which we'll get into later. And then it also has a super element protection ring, which I'm inclined to give Hollis. Maybe. Because Hollis's bravery is already ridiculously high, so I'd rather have Hollis very spell resistant. And then the event. The party found a bloodstained table littered with dozens of notes and a book on top of it. I'm going to read the notes with intelligence. Not that kind of intelligence. Come on now. There we go. After reading the notes, Von Deathheart quickly realizes that these notes contain a lot of scientific knowledge and discoveries made by the Necromancer after experimenting on a lot of corpses. Despite the questionable morality of how this knowledge was obtained, Von Deathheart couldn't help but be fascinated by everything that was written here. Gains forbidden knowledge for intellect growth and intelligence. Do we read the book or not? So he gained the trait, but like I can still read the book. So there is the pull for that. Oh god, you guys want to poke the ogre? Okay. The party opened the book and started to read. The book was in actuality the diary of the Necromancer, where he describes his life before he dabbled into necromancy. He was once a scholar who was shunned by the rest of the community because of his obsession with the nature of death. He was firmly convinced that death was just like any other disease for which a cure had to be found. The Necromancer describes his former colleagues as fools who were bound by their own hypocritical moralities. not willing to dirty their own hands for the sake of humanity. Further along the diary describes how the man eventually had to escape his home after people found out about his experiments on human corpses. This was also the point where the man finally turned to necromancy, a magic form he was convinced was closest to the secrets of immortality. In the end of the diary, the necromancer believed that he was ever so close to defeating death, but he needed bodies, a lot more bodies. And the table doesn't disappear. Well, your intellect's 1 higher, so it should be easier to disarm. There's a lot of magical traps in the way. Bravery took a hit. And here is said Necromancer. Summon zombie. So as you can imagine, the Necromancer has a poison claw for poison and bleeding, can summon zombies, reduce the counter of undeath allies by 1, and then Ice Bolt. He's not particularly weak to any specific type of magic, so it's just like Zergum, basically. That was an expensive move, but I think a wise one, I hope. Actually, I don't want to move there. I want to move here. Almost got it killed. And we'll switch to Light Bolts. Ben Deathheart. I know we're low on mana. I could have drank mana potions prior to the fight. I just didn't. Probably should have in hindsight. Oh, I didn't notice that ghost back there. And I am going to stand here and block. Trying to be the barrier for the enemies to engage on. Keeping in mind, they can't see, Cicerone. She's invisible. Now, if there's a chain attack that triggers with Cicerone, I will be asked if I want to break stealth for it. So there would be a like a prompt, or are you sure you want to break stealth for this? Oh, I missed a corpse. Good lord. My hope was... Oh, I really got boxed in here. In order to use Quick Slash... I need 2 more points. It's expensive, but I'll do it. And now she's low-key surrounded by a whole bunch of stuff. So let's try to clear that out. I wonder if that would work. I'll do it like this. So get rid of one and pound the corpse of the other. And you can move, so I'm going to move you up here. I want to close in on the Necromancer, because this fight is going to go on forever unless we stop the summoner from summoning. Ooh, and a chain attack for a kill. Nice. I like that. And then I'm going to have you... destroy the corpse, so we have freedom of movement. And also an open slot for the ghost to slide in and get attacked from multiple targets. Okay, 1 round till that corpse comes back, so let's kill it. Oh my god, Quantum, shoot the corpse! 95% chance to hit, and you miss every time. Good lord. And then another one gets summoned. And that's exactly why I wanted to chase that down. Let's see here. Hallis, I'm going to delay on you. Get rid of that corpse. There's almost no point in, like, doing physical attacks against a ghost. You won't get very far. So the physical attacks... The ghost is weak to earth, fire, lightning. So what I'll do is I'll do earth, and I'll push it towards Fig. Even though Von Deathheart does a little bit more in lightning, I think the positioning works about better this way. And then I'll start to pursue the Necromancer as well. So it's not just Ciceron doing it. And the reason why I delayed for Hallis is I figured that someone would take a lot of damage. How much HP do you have? 42, and you have 47. So I'm actually going to do something weird, which is stop this zombie from pursuing the other two, rather than to assist them, because I think they can take it back there. And then Hallis, you can kill the ghost, maybe? Or heal... Because this zombie can't hit me where it is, because there's two blockers. You know what? Maybe actually destroy the corpse. And then slot yourself in here. And I'll have Quantum, like, just haul butt over to us. So height advantage. And this thing has 150 health, so he's not, like... He's going to be pretty tough to kill. So I'm going to open up wounds and start bleeding. There we go. That's a whole bunch of rounds of bleeds. Ooh, Ice Bolt. Okay, so you're going to need healing. Copy that. Quantum. And Deathheart. I'm going to push the Necromancer onto the spikes. He resisted the release from the spikes, and then move here to stop getting surrounded by zombies, because I don't want to get ganked by swarms of zombs. Now, Hallis, you're probably the only one that can easily deal with the ghost. And I'm going to do something risky here. Actually, I'll heal. Because I wanted to do a magic missile against it. But I think Simply Fig is just too hurt. And I think I'm actually going to take height advantage. Hallis has 47 HP and can be like a shield for Von Deathheart, while Von Deathheart can just like mash on the enemies for a while. And what I'm trying to do is, I won't abandon Quantum. What I'm trying to do is corner the Necromancer, because the Necromancer is going to keep summoning crap on us until we deal with him. So the idea is to, neutralize him as soon as possible. Because otherwise the zombies are coming forever. Quantum's like, guys, need a little help here. I know. Oof, poison and bleeds. But you stepped on the trap, you idiot. Love it. So Quantum can't physically go anywhere. Let's... Oh, I don't even have SP for light arrows? Shoot. Archers have reduced abilities when they're surrounded like this. So what I'm going to do is... render aid as fast as I can. Nice. We'll try to take down the assassin as fast as possible. So, Von Deathheart, as much as I... Well... You know what? I can really do a lot of damage here. It's, yeah, I'm going to just try to gang up on the Necromancer as fast as possible. And in fact, I'm going to go beyond limit, going really down, low down. I didn't need to do that much, but really low down in the bravery tree, so that I'm already breaking, just to do a double attack, so that that Necromancer is like brink of death. All right, so for Hallis, you need to heal yourself because you were bleeding and poisoned because he rended you. And then I think I'm going to be really risky here. Put Hallis here. Do a 30-point conversion for another action point and drop a heal on Quantum. So the Quantum isn't like one-shottable. And then Fig will come in and try to relieve some of the pressure on Quantum so he's not surrounded on all three sides, because that's like rough. And good, the Ghost changed priority targets so that Quantum's not the only one getting banged up. Yeah! Took a lot of wounds, but because I have 3 parties, this party can recover, and we're getting Paladin, I think. And in a lot of these fights, the Necromancer was the one that raised all the dead. So if it wasn't obvious, if we kill him, the dead return to being dead again. So, sweet. Back to the guild. Not a lot of pay for this. Well, actually, that's not true. We got a lot of gold for it. But the weapon and the skill potion are all legendary. That one was rough. Yeah, the 3 stars are pretty rough until you get better gear and higher level. I knew it was going to be a bit of a gamble, which is why I like stocked up on all those potions. And then the loss of bravery was rough while we were in there. Thank you for tuning in to our Adventurer Guild, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. But please keep in mind, I'm trying to avoid backseating and spoilers. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord to take part in community events, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow adventurers.